Hey everybody, we're back in the shop again, fighting a bit of a head cold here, but we're working on the dashboard now in the Valiant, and the car's getting ready to eventually go to paint, and so I want to get everything done that is going to get painted. So we're going to work on the dashboard, and I'll kind of show you a little bit about what I got going on there, and then I'll show you in steps. I'm not going to film the whole thing because it's going to take me days and days to figure it out, but I'll show you the steps that I take to build a dash, and right now I'll explain kind of what I'm doing. So here we go. So this is the factory dash out of the Valiant, and I haven't really modified it much at all, other than I had to move the steering column location over. It used to be over here, and when I moved the steering column in the car, this had to change, and so I had to move it over. So I had to form a piece of metal and weld it in. This is the piece that I've added to the dash. This used to just have a big chunk of plastic with a molded cutout in it for the steering column. Okay, so I thought I'd show you a few pictures. I did this before I started videoing everything. So here's me mocking up the steering column location in the car and making a cardboard template of kind of how I was going to mount the steering column. And I made a steel box to kind of mount it, and then it clamps on the bottom with a strap that encapsulates the steering column. And then I had to obviously modify the plate on the floor because the steering column moved over about 4 inches from where it used to be. So this is getting the column mounted in place, and I also filled in the hole that the ignition key cylinder used to go into, and I just formed a piece of metal and welded it in the dash and in both of those places. Kind of cleaned it up, and didn't actually take that long, a few hours, and had the dash kind of filled in. And then I used a piece of tubing to kind of figure out the correct diameter for the cutout, and make that piece that is going to kind of finish off the bottom of the dash that wraps around the bottom of the steering column right there. And so yeah, that was kind of it. I mean, pretty straightforward. So that's really the only modification I made to it so far. But what I want to do is there's going to be a Holley dash that goes in the middle. This is my template that I've started to make. And this is kind of going to sit like this. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, but there's going to be 4 analog gauges that go right in front of me in the dash. And then I've got the 12-inch Holley dash that's going to go over there in the center. And I've already checked I can reach everything with belts on in the car and all that good stuff. And so that's kind of the plan. So this whole piece is going to be made out of 1/8-inch aluminum. And it's just going to basically sit flat like that. And then I'm going to angle the gauges up so that I can read them, and they're kind of perpendicular again after this goes back in the car. And then the same thing here where the glove box is. I'm going to just cover this also with a piece of aluminum, if I can do this one-handed. So this is going to get a piece of aluminum that kind of goes in here kind of like that. It'll get bent down in the corners to match the sides and so on and so forth, but that's going to sit in there, and then the idea is it'll all be just one big flat piece of aluminum. The glove box will open up, and that's where my fuse box is going to be. So that's kind of where I'm at. And then as we go, I'll bring you back and kind of show you what I'm doing. To mount the aluminum dash to the ends here, I made this, and basically this piece, I don't know if you can see this very well or not, but this piece just kind of fits in there like that, and this will get nutserts put in it, and then the dash will screw down to that. So this will get TIG welded into the dash. And then for the other sections over here to mount the aluminum, I'm making these aluminum pieces like this, and they're basically gonna fit down in these angles like that. There'll be one there, there'll be one somewhere there, and there'll be another one, I don't know, somewhere in here. And these are going to attach to the dash from the back. I'm going to just drill and tap screws. So these will screw into the dash from the back side, and then the dashboard will screw onto the front of these. So this is all going to be removable. There'll be like, I don't know, 8 or 10 screws that kind of hold the whole piece of aluminum on, and just make it easy to work on. So that's kind of the plan. And like I said, I'm not going to video the whole thing because it's frankly quite boring watching me kind of figure it out as I go. And but I will put pictures in and stuff and kind of bring you back and show you the major progression steps as we go along. So thanks for watching. Okay, so just kind of stepping through what we're doing here. Basically just making a template so I can cut the aluminum. The aluminum's going to come flat. This is still a little too big here. It doesn't sit very flat yet. The aluminum's going to come flat, and then it's going to angle down. And I just use a digital angle finder to find that angle. We'll put it in a brake and we'll bend it. But I use tape to extend my template, and then I just keep trimming it until I get it to fit. And you know, works pretty good. And then kind of the same thing on the other end. I've cut the piece of aluminum for the other end. Where is that? I think it's over here. I haven't bent it yet, but this piece is gonna fit in here like so. And pardon the glare. And then this is going to get a bend about 40 degrees down, so that when it's bent, it's going to basically fit inside there like that, and kind of just trim that out. So that's the plan anyway. We'll see how it all goes. So it's tedious and slow, and I'm not in any hurry, but it just takes a while to get everything to fit and the way I want it. So we're almost there. I got to trim this a little more so that this piece will fit flat. And then I'm just going to weld a steel piece in here, support, and put nutserts in it, and the kind of the same thing here. And then on this side where this piece of aluminum ends, I've made another one of these, another one of these pieces, so it's kind of right there. And then there'll be 2 screws that go into that, and those screws are going to look like the one that used to be here on my bench that has disappeared. There it is. So give you an idea what that'll look like. I'm just going to flush them into the 1/8 inch aluminum. It's just going to kind of look like that. And so there'll be 2, 4, 6, 8, there'll be 10 of those in there, and you know, they'll fit nice and flush and should look okay. It's a race car, it's not a show car, so I'm not too worried about it, but at the end of the day, you know, needs to be right. So anyway, that's kind of where we are. It's getting late in the day. I'm probably gonna end here for the day, and we'll see where we pick up again next week. This is my mill. I made those aluminum pieces. I think I took some pictures of that. They'll be in here. really handy for making that kind of stuff. And there's the Valiant. We've got the bodywork rough done, good enough for to go to the body shop. I've got the brackets all in for the motor plate and the mid plate. I still need to cut the mid plate down a little bit. It's still kind of just roughly cut just to fit. But so that's all in. Transmission cross member is done, and yeah, it's coming along. Roll cage is all finished, completely finished welded now. Everything's done. NHRA inspector is coming, I think Monday or Tuesday, so should be pretty good. Should be a stout little car. We're building it for 850 cert, and I think we'll be easily able to get an 850 on it. So that's the cage. Anyway, that's about it for today. I haven't eaten all day. I'm hungry. I'm going home, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.